First thing you need to understand, he cannot grab you if you aren't slimed. So, here's strategy number 1 if you're playing with other people. Just wait for him to shoot the slime, bait it out to dodge it. Find something like a box. So this is actually, hey, all you people who talk about shit not being valid in the Psychanium, this is actually easier to do in a real match. You just find boxes, and then you just jump between them like this. And then you do this to bait out the slime, and your team can just be wailing on him while you're doing this. Yeah, this is really boring. This is really not, like, great if you have to deal with it by yourself. But you can, as long as you have any kind of boxes, you can endlessly kite this guy around them. Now, let's do something a little bit more substantial, because that's assuming your team's actually going to help you. Play enough Auric and you'll find out that is not the case 90% of the time. So, maintain about this distance. Let him do the first slime to dodge it. So now you're in the clear. Now you can he's kind of yours to mess with. As long as you're at least 5-ish meters away, you can always dodge the slime. Dodging the slime up close is possible, but requires a little bit of practice. And then your general strategy is just this. Dodge the slime and go for the damage. Another thing I recommend is not doing this, but another thing I recommend... Oh, real quick, here's some interesting tech. You can jump over slime to take less damage and not get nearly as much of a movement penalty. See? I jumped from there to there across 2 slime puddles, only took like 2 corruption damage. I wouldn't recommend trying to slide through it, but it's a thing. I don't like it. So anyway, if you're trying to be efficient on your damage, as soon as he does that, you can use that to grenade him, and then just go ham on his back. This is, of course, assuming you have grenades, but why wouldn't you have grenades? Now, that's actually really... I'm really glad I got that to happen. You cannot make him stun during certain animations. So if you want to do this, you really gotta do something like this. This is a huge trick. So wait for him to start the slime animation, throw, and then if you do it right, this will happen, where you get this huge, huge window to deal damage. Okay, now that's all assuming you have the power sword. The power sword is not mobile enough or strong enough at dealing weak spot damage to consistently deal with really any kind of boss. But what if you're using a weapon that's good at dealing with weak spots and is pretty mobile? Well, this opens up some more options for you. Let me just grab this. So now you can do stuff like this. Always, always, always bait out the first attack. Don't even play with it. Just bait the first attack out. Because these guys take extra damage from melee. So, like, that did a lot. So this is the same thing. As soon as the slime builds up, give yourself some space. Make him shoot it off in a direction that doesn't matter. Don't be a scrub like me and actually hit your dodge button there. That was incredibly poor play. But this gives me a chance to show you some more stuff about slime. Sliding through it, not recommended. Just sprint and jump. Just like barrel fire. Also, I'm pretty sure they patched out the infinite slide on the slime. That used to be fun. Anyway, let me give you a better example. So, same thing with the grenade. Bait this, do that, throw grenade. It'll stun him. Get a couple hits in here. And, like, look at that. Look at that. He's already lost 20,000 health. So, same thing. He's going to start sliming. Go for this. Get the weak spot hits in. And there you go. Like, this is a way to really consistently deal with Beasts of Nurgle entirely by yourself. If the only thing you have is a knife, let me just show you what to do with a knife, because knife is a little bit special. So, same thing as normal. Wait for him to do the slime. Bait the slime out. Hit him with this. Activate your damage buffs. Now, with the knife, it's more about keeping the bleed up, which is not hard, but it's not the easiest thing in the world either. So, you can also do something like this with the knife if you want to, like, try and pump out the DPS. Bait out the slime. Build the bleed stacks. Don't be a fucking scrub like me. Oh my god. See, that right there, I don't mind showing failures like that on camera because that shows you the actual risks of trying to do something like this. Especially when you have the far safer alternative of just bait out the slime, dodge, hit the weak point, bait out. But there are ways that you can practice to do more damage. Like this. That's the wrong button. So, bait out the first slime. Throw the grenade. Do this. Get your damage in there. Get your bleed stacks. And then the idea here is once you build your bleed stacks, you go in with another grenade for the stun. So you get your thing, go in for another grenade, go in with the gun, and then you deal damage. And, like, this deals a shit ton of damage. Like, that kills it even faster than with the Rashid axe. But as you see, it is really... There's a lot of finesse to making it work. I guess, since you could already click off the video now, I guess I'll just do some normal bleed damage to give you an idea what that's like. Actually, that's kind of cheating, because there's already a bunch of puddles. Let me just walk over... Excuse me, let me just walk over here. So, always let the boss go first. Bait it out. Alright. Bait it out. Go back to bleed. What are you doing? Samir, you're wrecking the car. Now, when you've got these bleed stacks and you're just waiting for him to do that, you can just pull your gun out and start shooting him. This is another thing that you can do to add a little bit more damage. So this is a very consistent way to deal with it. It just takes a while. Also, if you're using Lacerate and not the crit, because you can't proc Finesse for the, like, guaranteed crits. But as you can see his health bar, it's dealing with him, like, okay. It's not the worst thing. If you use Lacerate... just doing, like, the weak spot route is gonna kill him faster. But, you know. Like, look, he's already half health, and that's totally solo. If you have a team that can help you in any capacity, he'll die way before that.